Hey guys, Retro here. Today I'm going to do another DVD collection video, and this one will be focusing on TV shows. Most of these will be comedies and sitcoms, stuff like that, with exception to one I think, but regardless it's a very good collection of DVDs we have for you today, so stay tuned. Alright, so let's start off with a classic in my book, Saved by the Bell. A classic Saturday morning sitcom from the early 90s. And we have the main characters here. Well, the main character, Zach Morris. He was like the preppy type, popular, and he was always up to some scheme or scam or whatever, always getting into trouble. We have Screech Powers, aka Samuel Powers. He was the nerdy type, Zach's best friend, but he was like super genius level at school, but when it came to like everything else, he was like one of the dumbest people in existence. And he had a major crush on Lisa. We have E.C. Slater, who was the jock type, and kind of Zach's rival. I mean, they were friends too, but they're always competing for Kelly's attention and whatnot. And then we have Lisa Turtle, who was like the princess, always shopping in fashion and whatnot. Then we have Kelly Kapowski, who was the popular cheerleader. And then we have Jessica or Jessie Spano, who was the smart, student and environmentalist and all that. She's basically the Lisa Simpson of the show. But like I said, the show was very popular. When I was growing up, everybody watched it, even though it wasn't necessarily a show that everyone would talk about and be like, oh man, did you see Saved by the Bell yesterday or whatever. But it was just something to watch on Saturday. Remember, it's the days before the internet, and we had video games, but not like nearly as much as we do now. So I think a lot of people watched it. Looking back on it, it wasn't like an amazingly written show or the comedy was like that hilarious, but it worked. I guess it was the cast that made it work. And obviously there's a lot of nostalgia there for me. And I think for anybody, even if you never grew up with this show, but you're familiar with the 90s, this show is like super, super 90s. But yeah, a lot of fun. I remember some episodes are probably one of the most well-remembered episodes is when Jessie gets hooked on caffeine pills and she gets smashed on caffeine, and then she starts going nuts and she's like, I'm so excited. If you know what I'm talking about, if you've seen the show. But there's a classic episode where Zach and Slater finally had a fight, and it was a pretty damn good fight for again, a Saturday morning kids show. It was pretty good, and although it didn't really end, like it got broken up, but I think Zach did way better than he should have, because Slater was captain of the wrestling team and he was on the football team, so like he should have been able to demolish Zach, but I guess Zach was the main character, so you had to make him look good, can't make him look weak. There's one episode where, I don't know, remember which season it was on, but they started their band, Zack Attack, and it was kind of like a future, like, well, it was hosted by Casey Kasem. It was kind of like a documentary about how the band became popular, and then it shows their whole journey. And then Zach becomes like, he gets his swollen head, and he, goes overboard and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. And that super corny song they sing, "Friends Forever," is like so cheesy, but I can't stop watching it. Anyways, take a look at the back here. Set in the fictional town of Palisades, California. I didn't realize that's where it took place. I just always thought Bayside was like the name of the city or something. The series follows 16 teenagers through their fun days at Bayside School, at their antic-filled nights, at their favorite hangout, the Max. Heartthrob Zach and AC are forever vying for the attention of Kelly, the prettiest and most popular girl in school. Screech is the class clown and electronic genius. Was he really the class clown? He was more of the class goof. I don't know if I'll call him a clown, but anyway. And fashion conscious Lisa is mostly occupied with expanding her wardrobe, but Jessie is the neutralizing force, often trying to convince the gang to do the right thing, while school principal Mr. Belding is continuously trying to connect with the younger generation. And I don't know whose hat that's supposed to be, but anyway, I'm sure one of the characters wore a hat like that Lisa. I can't remember if Lisa was one of those cast members. Anyways, and then I guess they changed it to Saved by the Bell. And they got rid of the teacher, and yeah, they focused more on the kids. But I didn't know that as a kid. I thought, because when I watched Morning with Miss Bliss, whatever it's called, they changed the intro and stuff like that. They just call it Saved by the Bell, so I had no idea it's technically a different show. But they just, I guess, merged the universes together. Something like that. Then we have season 3 and 4 of Saved by the Bell. There you see the cast I mentioned before, but with the addition of Mr. Belding. I thought this looked really awkward when I first saw this, and I figured out why, but we'll get back to that in a second. I mean, awkwardness since he doesn't look like he's actually there. It looks like they pasted him in after the fact, but I can prove it. But we'll get back to that, like I said. Okay, it says season 3 and 4 of the hit TNBC series Saved by the Bell find these 6 adventuresome teens causing more trouble and continuing their inventive schemes as they sail through Bayside High School. In season 3 and 4, we follow Zach, AC, Kelly, Screech, Jesse, Lisa, and Mr. Belding through the Zach and Kelly breakup, Jesse's father's wedding to a younger woman, the summer jobs at the beach club, and the SATs, and the super rock group Zack Attack. Zack Attack. That's what I was talking about before. Yeah, I remember these episodes. I always hated on sitcoms when they would do like an episode that wasn't on the set. Like if they go on vacation to Hawaii, like Jesse's father's getting married, they went to Hawaii, and I believe it was actually filmed there. I never liked that because something looked weird about it. I don't know if they're using a different camera or different lighting or whatever it is, but I never liked that. And then the beach club is when they all worked at a beach club for like, I don't know, it was like 5 episodes or something like that. And that featured, what's her name from King of Queens, Carrie, Doug's wife, Carrie. She was in that episode. She was Zach's love interest in those episodes there. So more classic stuff. And then there is season 5, and this is what I'm talking about, because I'm like, wait a minute. It's the exact same Mr. Belding picture, only they flipped it. Because you can see the part of his hair is on a different side. So they took this picture, I guess, and put him into this DVD cover. Pretty tricky, guys, pretty tricky. And this season also introduced Tori. I believe for a few episodes, I can't remember how many, Jesse and Kelly were not on it. I think what they did, they just merged them together and you get Tori. So, okay. Well, actually, I seen it in this picture at least. Kelly and Tori do coexist, so they're not exactly merged together. But anyways, okay, season 5 of the series Saved by the Bell finds our favorite teens causing more trouble and continuing their. That's exactly the same blurb there. In season 5, we follow Zach, AC, Screech, Lisa, and the newest transfer to Bayside High, Tori. This season's adventures include Zach and the teen line. Oh, I remember that when he was Nitro. He called himself Nitro. The teachers strike. Slater's sister comes to town, drinking and driving, senior prom, the time capsule, and the final graduation episode. Yeah, like sometimes they would have like serious episodes where like they got drunk and then they drove and then they got into an accident. Another one, they had like some celebrity come in to do an anti-drug PSA type of commercial, and then they're hanging out with him after and they saw that he smoked weed, or I was like, oh my god. Yeah, so also they did some pretty serious episodes, I guess, but it was mostly like pretty lighthearted. Okay, moving on to a completely different type of thing. I don't know what the word is, but we have the Ali G show, the complete first season. 2-disc set including unseen footage. There he is. this. Ali G, what a great show. So funny. Pretty groundbreaking for its time. Man, I remember watching the hell out of this on TV and on DVD. I think everybody knows Ali G, right? Sacha Cohen, his character he invented, where he dresses up like this, British guy, but he has like a Jamaican accent and stuff like that, and he acts really stupid in interviews like real politicians or actors or just regular people, but he acts really stupid. And it's pretty funny to see how like other people react to him. I guess that's what makes it so funny for me. Even like, and then he does Borat, who's like a character from Kazakhstan, and who loves Bruno, who's supposed to be a gay character, and yeah, people are like, oh, those characters are like offensive or whatever, which, okay, I get that, but for me, the funny thing for me is how people react to those characters, not making fun of those characters, or it's how people react to that I find funny anyway, and I think that was the point. But let's check out the back here. Okay, we got some quotes here and stuff like that. Already an international comedy phenomenon, the outrageous Emmy-nominated HBO comedy series listed as the #3 program of the year by the New York Times stars British comedian Sacha Baron Cohen, voted a comedy breakout television star of 2023 by Entertainment Weekly. Baron Cohen travels across America in the guise of 3 totally different characters: Wanksta journalist Ali G, Kazakhstan's premier reporter Borat, and the uber-cool Austrian fashionista Bruno. Funny stuff, man. Some of the reactions he gets are just that damn priceless. One that comes to my mind is so silly, but he was interviewing this farmer, and he was getting so frustrated. He was in the Ali G character, and the farmer's getting so frustrated at how dumb he was. And then by the end of the interview, Ali G's walking away because the interview's over, and the camera just stays focused on this farmer, and this farmer just puts his head down and keeps shaking his head. He's just shaking his head in like disapproval or whatever for like a minute straight. He's just shaking his head. I thought that was like the funniest reaction. I remember another time he's talking to some politician, and this is I think during the Iraq War, and he's like, Ali G's like, does Saddam Hussein have BLTs instead of WMDs, weapons of mass destruction? And the guy he's interviewing is just like, well, we believe that he does, and blah blah blah. I don't know if he just went along with it and he realized it was a joke, or he just didn't notice, but I don't know, I found it out to be pretty funny too. So we'll put this over here, and then we have, of course, the Ali G show season 2. And I didn't notice before, but his rings here, they're like little turntables. I'm not sure what that is there, but and let's take a look at the back here. Oh yeah, you have the 3 main characters there. Get wiped out by the second wave of the Ali G show, the most outrageous comedy series ever to hit American shores. Once again, British comedy phenomenon Sacha Baron Cohen stirs things up in America in the guise of his 3 celebrated alter egos: Wanksta, UK journalist, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's the same as before, blah blah blah. It's the Emmy nominated, BAFTA award-winning cult classic that the New York Post dubbed the funniest TV kids. Cool. Okay, on to a Canadian classic. The Trailer Park Boys. And yeah, I got them to sign it. So Ricky signed it, Bubbles signed it, and Julian signed it. And yeah, I met them at an autograph signing, and they're in character, and they signed as their character, which I think is pretty funny, pretty cool. Yeah, so I don't know if everybody knows this show, but it basically takes place in a trailer park. As you can tell, it's kind of like a mockumentary, and I think it takes place in Nova Scotia or something like that. But it just follows the life of the Trailer Park Boys, and yeah, they get up to no good, of course. You see they have guns, and Julian is always drinking. He has a glass of, I believe it's rum and coke. You never see him without it, like no matter what he's doing. He could be driving, he could be doing anything. Probably when he sleeps, he has it in his hand too. And think I talked about the show before, so I won't get into too much detail, but I absolutely love the first 2 seasons, especially. I feel like the show got a little bit too over the top, too exaggerated as it went on. It was like kind of almost believable that these characters could exist in real life in their first 2 seasons, but it just got a little bit too crazy for me personally. Still good, but the first 2 seasons I think are the best. So yeah, let's take a look at the back here. Yeah, I'm not gonna read up. Well, maybe I'll read a little bit. Okay. Oh, there's some more of the cast. You have what was his name? I think Randy. He was like one of the cop. I don't want to say security. I guess I don't know. I can't remember what they called him, but he would never have a shirt on. That was his gimmick, and that's Mr. Leahy. He was like the head of the the trailer park security. I guess there must have been a better word for that, but okay. They have I don't remember. Okay, she used to be. I don't remember her name. She used to be Ricky's wife or girlfriend or whatever. He has a kid with her, and then I think she was her friend. Oh, and that behind him is Ricky's father, I think. Anyway, man, good times. I gotta watch these again. It's been so long. Same with the Ali G stuff. It's been so long since I've seen that stuff. I gotta pop it in one last time. Not one last time, but you know. Then we have Trailer Park Boys, the complete 3rd season. There you can see them sitting on the back of on the front of a beat up car. Let's take a look at the back here. I think I forgot to read the back of the other box, but that's okay. Some more of the casting crew. Oh yeah, there's J-Rock, John O'Vision. I remember from that talk show, John O'Vision. I don't know if anybody else remembers that. Anyways, oh, that's okay. That writing's way too small, so I'm not reading that. But anyways, okay. All right, time for the only non-comedy in the bunch. Oh yeah, The Walking Dead, the complete 1st season, fall of 2011. Wow, that takes me back. What a great cover there. Everyone's trying to leave town, but those cars are all abandoned by now. And I can believe that's Rick Grimes, I believe is the main character. He's taking his horse in the opposite direction. He wakes up in the hospital or something after the apocalypse or whatever you want to call it happens. See the back here. After waking from a coma in an abandoned hospital, police officer Rick Grimes finds the world he knew gone, ravaged by a zombie epidemic of apocalyptic proportions. Apocalyptic. Good trigger word. Nearby, on the outskirts of Atlanta, a small encampment struggles to survive as the dead stalk them at every turn. Can Rick and the others hold on to their humanity as they fight to live in this terrifying new world and amidst that's our word, dire conditions and personal rivalries? Will they ultimately survive one another? Such a good show. Oh, now it's I forget the actor's name, but he plays the Punisher, I think now. And in the show, he plays Rick's friend, his best friend, and I think the whole storyline between them two was the highlight of the show. Like, I think it concludes at the end of the 2nd season or whatever. I don't want to give any spoilers, but once they conclude that storyline, the show's never the same for me. Not that it wasn't good after that, but it was never as good as it was in the first 2 seasons. So, but you know, I guess no show could be at its peak forever, by the definition of what a peak is. Then we have the Chappelle show. I was gonna call it the Chappelle show because that's what I thought until like literally before I started recording this video. I always thought it was the Chappelle show, but it's Chappelle's show, as you can see on the cover. And this is season 1, uncensored. And there's Dave Chappelle, really funny show, a skit show. They had some musical performances on there as well. I mean, like, definitely controversial and offensive, I'm sure, to some people, but it was really funny, despite of what, you may like or not like Chappelle now, but back then he was damn classic skits. Everyone like the Charlie Murphy, Hollywood stories about Rick James and Prince and all that. Just so many. This is another show I haven't watched in years, so I gotta go back and watch some of this stuff. Be a blast from the past, because I used to watch that so much that I got tired of it. You know what I mean? So, but it's been so long that I think I can appreciate the show again. But let's see, it says, welcome to this thing we call Chappelle's Show. Comedian Dave Chappelle takes his street smart brand of comedy to another level in the Chappelle's Show Season 1 Uncensored DVD box set. Chappelle's hilarious and defiant point of view is brought to bear in these 12 outrageous episodes consisting of sketches, pop culture parodies, and live musical performances. Oh, interesting, it says not all live performances are on this box set. I don't know why, but anyway. So yeah, there's the Chappelle Show, something I want to definitely get back to, or to check out again. Then we have Chappelle's Show Season 2 Uncensored. I think this was probably the best season from what I remember. I mean, there's only 2 seasons, but yeah, you have the Rick James, I think that's Lil Jon, that's Prince. Your favorite episodes from Chappelle's Show second season are now available in this uncensored box set, from the racial draft to Black Bush and everything in between. Yeah, I forgot about those. Rick James, Charlie Murphy, and Wayne Brady joined Dave Chappelle for some of the most intelligent and daring comedy to ever hit television. Performances by musical guests like Snoop Dogg, Erykah Badu, that's right. Wyclef, help prove why Dave Chappelle is one of the biggest cultural phenomena of the 21st century. Cool. Put that over there. And one more Chappelle is Chappelle's Show, The Lost Episodes Uncensored. Over 1 hour of extras, never before seen sketches, musical performances, and more. So people kept saying that this was like the start of the 3rd season. So there never was a 3rd season because he kind of went nuts and disappeared. I don't know what the story is, but people are like, oh, these are, they started to make the 3rd season, and this is what the skits were. But I think these were leftover skits from the first 2 seasons that they didn't use, because to be honest, they weren't that good. Maybe there might be 1 or 2 good things on here, but it's really not that great. The long-awaited Lost episodes are finally here. With the success of the first 2 seasons, Dave finally gets to meet show business, spend some time in his new crib, and show what happens when Lil Jon goes Hollywood, outrageous, intelligent, and provocative. Chappelle's Show, The Lost episodes, proves that Dave Chappelle is now and forever one of the funniest, most boundary-pushing comedians to appear on television. Okay. Speaking of controversial, Benny Hill, the Thames years. It's Thames, right? Not Thames. I always get that confused. Years 1969 to 1989, the complete mega set. 58 episodes, 18 discs, 585 sketches. That's crazy. And there's the man, the myth, the legend, Benny Hill. So if you don't know, Benny Hill was like this comedian. He had like I guess you would call like a skit variety show. They did skits and then they'd have musical performances, but that were supposed to be funny, not just like for, music reasons. And I remember watching it as a kid, late night on TV, and it was, pretty funny. I didn't like everything on the show. I watched more for like the skits. I remember one, I think it was like Super Nanny or Super Granny or something, this old lady, but she had superpowers and she like beat up bad guys and stuff like that. And if you don't know Benny Hill, you definitely know that a lot of people parody this, where you see, because at the end of every episode they do a thing where all the cast on the show, they would chase him around and they would be in fast motion and they play that song. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. Anyways, but yeah, so you definitely, and then I remember they had the old man with the bald head and Benny Hill like, just so many funny skits. And I remember when I bought this, I still do find those skits funny. And of course, nostalgia plays a role, but I feel like there's a lot of stuff on there that's just like, I'll just skip. Like the musical stuff, I never really cared for, and I still don't, but it's still a great collection. But let's see what we got here. The undisputed funniest man on television, Benny Hill pioneered a naughty new direction for the sketch comedy variety show and pushed TV broadcasting to new levels of rowdiness as he electrified audiences all over the world with The Benny Hill Show. This show-stopping collection on 18 DVDs captures every classic comedic moment from the merry master of mirth in his heyday. Benny Hill, the complete megaset, contains Benny's gracious 20 years reign over television sketch variety genre, from the naughty early years to the debut of the nubile Hill's Angels. I remember that. Through the final episodes, witnessed the birth of crazy characters like Fred, Scuttle, Chow Mein, and Pierre de Terre. I don't know how you say that. Laugh out loud as Benny Hill and his bevy of buxom babes flaunt their racy rowdiness and tongue-in-cheek satire in characteristically outrageous sketches like The Little Dimton Street Party and The Crook Report. These 58 vintage episodes, originally aired from 1969 to 1989, contain nearly 600 memorable sketches and deliver a comedy high kick that is quintessentially Benny. Never aired in the US in full length from this complete collection of the team's episode of Benny Show presents a rare opportunity to view every saucy, unforgettable moment from one of the most uproarious and celebrated programs in television history. Whew, that was a mouthful. But yeah, lots and lots and lots of memories for me on this one. Okay, a few more here. We have the 10th anniversary special of Conan O'Brien. I'm not going to go into too much details on these ones, but I was a huge Conan O'Brien fan, like right from the beginning. I remember staying up late with my brother, especially on the, during the summer break, watching these episodes, and I thought no one I knew ever talked about Conan O'Brien, so I thought me and my brother were the only ones. Obviously we weren't, but yeah, I love Conan. I'm happy he's still around and still doing his thing, maybe in a different form than it was before, but times have changed. And we have Saturday Night Live, the best of Chris Farley. Pretty funny. Can't remember. Oh yeah, he would do the Down by the River skits and stuff like that. It was pretty funny. I understand he wasn't everybody's cup of tea, pretty over the top, but it was good times back then, you know what I'm saying? And this isn't really a TV show per se, but I figure I showed it now. Again, I won't talk too much about this because I talked about it before, but the Angry Video Game Nerd. Oh, this is volume 2. I showed it out of order. That's okay. This is volume 2. Ghost, 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 ghost. And then there is volume 1. This volume 1 case is like super flimsy. Jeez, but anyways, those are some more of my DVDs in my extensive library. Many, many more to come, but I hope you found that entertaining. I hope you found it relaxing, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.